Share the MIE community with your friends. We've got a great presentation coming up today, and really it's all about what is an MIE. I want to bring on three amazing MIE friends. Let me make sure that I have everybody. There they are. I've got one more coming up here. Ladies, how are you today? Welcome to NCCE Live.
Good afternoon or good morning to those on the West Coast. Oh, look at this, all talking over each other. Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I love about this time of year is everybody gets together to figure out what they're going to be doing next year. And it's always a matter of where do we go to find those resources? Where do we go to learn about? Who do we lean on? And how fast can I call Tammy Dunbar with any questions that I have that I need for these different applications? I'm going to let you guys go for a little bit here because I know you guys have a very important conversation all about what is the MIE Expert Program. And guys, thank you so much for being here live on NCCE.
Thanks, Jeff. We're super excited to be here, and I couldn't be more excited to be here with Shannon and Melissa, who are really, integral parts of our MIE expert community. I'm going to let them do most of the talking here and share their experiences as an MIE expert. But I guess I should introduce myself officially. Robin Rivnatz. I sit on our U.S. education team here at Microsoft in Education and oversee our Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert Program, our Showcase Schools program, and then just do a lot of education transformation support across the United States. So super excited to be here with you all. And I would say if I had to define one thing about our MIE expert community is, number one, it's family to us here at Microsoft, and every one of our experts inside of our community know that they are part of our family and they feel that family atmosphere with each other as well. The second thing I will say about it, it's not necessarily about professional development per se, although you do get developed a lot. It's more about community. It is the best professional learning community that I've ever been a part of, and I was a part of it before I worked here at Microsoft. It's the friends, the community building. It's the knowing, that you've got someone that has your back on those tough days that we all know we have as educators, and also other people to help lift you up and share awesome things with you, as well as giving you a place to amplify your voice as a teacher. The experience amongst the group is vast. Everything from STEM professionals to early literacy professionals to folks in the higher ed space, even sharing how they're leveraging some of the Microsoft tools inside their classrooms and inside their spaces. And then even beyond Microsoft tools, like I said, it's just a family of educators looking to learn from each other. So I'll toss it over to you guys, Melissa and Shannon, if you kind of want to share your experience and what it's like to be an expert, and then we can show people how they can get started.
Yeah, sure, Robin. Hey, Melissa, I'll go ahead and jump out there first a little bit. So it is just such a blessing to be part of the MIE community. And sometimes people may shy away because we call ourselves experts, but I would say I'm not an expert in anything, but I am an expert in reaching out to my friends in that professional learning network and getting the answers that I need. And so if you or anyone around you is in that point in their career where you think that you might just need something that's a little bit more and you want to stretch and grow yourself, the MIE community is a great place to be able to do that. And earlier we heard Rob Dixon talk a little bit about there's different types of professional learning, and one of them is professional learning that you seek on your own. And so that can be one of the most rewarding types of learning for all learners. And really, I'll say what the MIE community has done for me, and I think lots of other people, is just given us great connections. So now we really have a great sense of empathy for everyone worldwide. We have great connections, and then we're just constantly learning together. And Robin does a really good job of creating that environment for us and keeping that going. And so just a really great network for that. And Melissa is a little bit newer to our MIE community, and I know that she's had a great experience. And so I just thought, Melissa, that you could kind of share what your year's been like and encourage people to jump out just like you did, because you take a risk when you jump into a community like this and you put in your application. So tell us about it, Melissa.
So last year, or the last 2 years, I have been lucky enough to work with some amazing individuals. So after ISTE last year, I am from New York City. And so I've been lucky enough to train with amazing individuals during my time. And after ISTE, I decided I am a late person. So I did do my application the night before. I'm not going to lie. It was the last night. But what I did to make sure when I got it in was I really looked at that sway as something that was all about me, to make sure my personality was showing, to make sure my love of what I did was showing. We all get into this field to really share our passions, and I wanted that to show. So in my application, I wanted to share that. So when I finally found out that I was accepted into this program, I was so excited because the OGs of the New York City Department of Education who have been in this program shared so much information with us that I wanted to use that experience that they modeled for us into what I could model for new teachers. So we've been able to continue to use those experiences. Being part of the MIEE community has been such an amazing experience for me. Having the calls every month, just like you say, being part of that community, learning from other people, learning about different programs that are available, but also the MIE community is kind of like the tree trunk, and then you learn about all these things that branch out. And you learn from cohorts. There's different cohorts all over the country that you can learn from. And that is great. Just, some things that we do in New York City are very different than some things you do on the West Coast, but those can spark such ideas. And then when I look at the people I follow on Twitter, I follow so many more people now because of this community. I actually got into Twitter jail one day because you try to follow so many people from these amazing experiences that you're learning about. So being a part of these calls has been such a huge help, especially in this time right now of being out of the schools. You have a community that that you can be a part of and gain information and gain support from. And that's what we're all here for, is to be able to gain information, gain help from each other, and then support our own community. Plus, we have our amazing tweet meets that are always such a support. And also, one of the other things that's great about the community calls is that we have it twice when we have them. And there's one in the morning and the afternoon, and you get a different perspective on each, which is so nice because you get to meet two different groups of people. So I really feel that this program has been so lucky as my first year, and I can't wait to hopefully continue with it, because I have learned from so many different people, so many different things, and have been able to take little bits and pieces and model it for the people I work with and the people and my students, and bring new ideas into the classroom and into my role as an ed tech model teacher. It really has been such a blessing. I know one of the partner offers we worked about was Bunsate, and that has been such a huge help. All these programs, Bunsate, Pear Deck, Nearpod, Book Creator that we worked with were all programs that were so helpful during remote learning that we really were truly lucky to have this program to do. I know that was a lot. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this program because it truly was such a support for me, especially as this being my first year and being in as part of remote learning.
No need to apologize, Melissa. If I could just capture all that up, that's just amazing and awesome. And like I said, we want to continue to grow this community. We don't feel like just some people should have the opportunity to be connected with such amazing educators. And like Melissa said, it's definitely a very strong community here in the United States, but this community is a global community as well. And I can say that most people that belong to this community and then they get connected at that global level, there's not a place on this earth that you could travel to once we get to traveling again. I definitely miss some travel in my life. There's not a place on this earth that I could go to that I can't imagine not meeting up with another MIE expert and being able to make a lifelong friend. And so that's really kind of the heart of a lot of this program. It's like I said, it's just the family environment and experience that we try to provide for our educators. And we really truly want this to be a learning community. Yes, Melissa mentioned we do offer lots of great things and get access to lots of partner apps as well as the Microsoft ecosystem and share how those tools work in the classroom. But just having access to the people is priceless. I am going to go ahead and share my screen if you guys don't mind. And let's see how this works. I don't know. I don't know if it'll work for me. Looks like it's giving me some weird error. So let's.
If you share your screen, I'll pull it up.
All right, I'm trying, Jeff. I'm trying to choose my second screen, and it is not letting me pick a screen. Is that normal? Okay, awesome.
So, hey, I'm going to say this, though, Robin, while you're pulling up your screen. Melissa really hit on that we have monthly calls. So if you're thinking about like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm too busy for that, it's really great because we record those calls and you can do those calls live. You can do them in the AM, the PM. You always have that option. And then if you're applying for the program, at first you might want to be just like our students are, and many educators, like we're just consumers at the beginning, right? And then you get a little bit more comfortable and you really start contributing. And I've heard Robin say many times it is you get in what you get out what you put into the community. But it's okay if you're like a novice learner and you're thinking like, I'm not sure how much I have to contribute. I guarantee you'll grow and you'll feel comfortable and you'll start to contribute. So really think about taking that risk and growing with us.
And just to build off what Shannon said, that we have this MIEE playbook, which is such an amazing resource. And I actually keep that, bookmarked on my iPad, because one of the reasons that I love having it is that it just has all of the notes that we take. And that gives me just reminders of things that sometimes you forget. We're overloaded with so much information sometimes, but sometimes when you're in a pinch and you're thinking of something, how can I support my students, or how can I support my families, or honestly, how can I support myself? We all need to, take care of ourselves with self-care. How can I find community members that could help support me? And that playbook has been such a huge support because it's information right at your fingertips that you can use. And also, just one more thing to go back to what Robin said, we have, just going out to the worldwide community, there are so many groups out there with worldwide people, and I have met people from all over the world who are MIE experts, and to see how other countries have programs and how they're running things has been such a support for our multilingual learners, because we're able to see how students and their cultures from different places. It has been absolutely such a support seeing MIE experts, around the world.
Awesome. And sorry, I just feel like a mess today. I couldn't get the technology working. I, got some sweating going on because I was on a workout this morning, and I feel like my robot shark is around here interrupting me. So I apologize. I seem like a little bit out of place, but I know I've got my family here that's going to support me and say, it's okay, Robin. Life happens, right? So as you can see on the screen right now, this is really the heart and soul of our MIE expert program. And there's just really two steps to become an MIE expert. The second step is a little bit more expansive, and I'll double click on that in a second. But basically, the first thing you have to do is be a certified MIE. Anybody can get certified. You can go to the educator community at education.microsoft.com. Take a couple of courses, whatever courses that are aligned to your learning needs. One of the things that we do is try to provide flexibility. We don't try to put everybody in the same bucket and say, these are the required classes you must take to become a certified MIE. If you're a teacher that's wanting to learn about Minecraft, you can take some courses on Minecraft. If you are a teacher who is an English teacher and maybe you want to look at some literacy courses that we have, or how to use the writing process inside Word and some of the features there, jump into those courses. So you kind of take what's relevant for you. You earn some points in the educator community. You have to earn 1,000 points. Take you just a couple of hours to do so. Or, you might be already super advanced and can go right to the exam at the end of the courses and take those exams. You earn your certified MIE badge. It becomes part of your profile in the educator community. That's the first step. And so many of you probably have already done that as we're speaking right now. The second thing is you must complete a self-nomination, and we open that window every year from April 15th to July 15th. So it is an annual window that you can self-nominate to become an MI expert. I'll talk about the application requirements in a second. And the reason why we do have an application window where we have an opening, a closing, and then we name our cohort is that we want it to feel like a community of learners. And so we don't have an always always open door for people to come in all through the school year, because then you'd miss out on all the things at the beginning, or you'd only see what's happening towards partial way through the program. So we want to feel it just like a school year where you build relationships for an entire year with your students. We want that to be that same experience in our community. So on July 15th, the nominations will shut down at the end of the day, Pacific time, and our scoring team over here at Microsoft will be working furiously to get all the last applications scored, and then we will be making our announcement, if you would. We'll be sending our acceptances here in the U.S. towards the end of July, beginning of August, depending on how many extra hours have to be spent on scoring more additional nominations for all you procrastinators out there. As you can see, it's okay. I'm one too. I'm a terrible procrastinator. So it's open. We want to see you to be part of this. As they mentioned, really it's the community that's the best benefit of being part of the MIE Expert program. But we also do provide a lot of different supports for educators, recognition for you as an educator. I know as a teacher myself, when I was in my school district, it's like everybody in your classroom knows what's going on and things that you're doing, but sometimes you don't feel recognized by your community or even your school leaders, et cetera. So we want to provide that recognition to our educators. You get to feel the impact of your work, because not only are you having that work done in your classroom, but you're able to impact others around the world and sharing those experiences, as Melissa and Shannon both mentioned. And as we all stated, it's the community building that is most valuable with this experience. So I did want to kind of jump in and tell you a little bit about the steps to become an MIE. Like we said, you need to get certified. And then the last thing that you're going to do when you actually go to the nomination to self-nominate is you're going to be creating a 2-minute video, or you can put together a sway, and you have to answer these 4 questions in a creative manner that expresses why you want to be in the MIE Expert program. I would say, as a tip here, the biggest things that we see is when folks don't get into the program, it's usually because they haven't provided examples. By saying you're great is one thing, but it shows us what your students are doing. We want to see artifacts of learning. We want to see why you want to join this community and share the fabulous work that's going on in your schools with others. So make sure you actually give us some information, some examples of what's happening and taking place in your schools. And then demonstrate that you want to share with others. We want everybody in this community to have a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset here at Microsoft is one of our core values. We always try to look to the positive side of things. When things get hard, and they're hard on a daily basis, we all know, how can we dig deep, get that grit, and continue to build each other up and support everybody. And then the one little thing that seems like pretty obvious, but when you share your video link or you share your sway link with us, make sure you're sharing the public link. So many people submit these applications, and then we go to click on the link to see the work that was put in behind here, and we have a private link. We can't even see what people are submitting. So it seems so obvious and simple, but make sure that when you submit, you are submitting a link that is a public link so that we can actually see the awesomeness that you're sharing with us. So that's it. Become a certified MIE. Complete the self-nomination. You've got 4 days, T-minus 4 days and counting, to become part of our program. And I'm just looking forward to continuing to meet more people around the United States and be part of our global experts and community of learning.
Robin, there's a lot of great things that you just covered. And as you know, the big common thing here is the MIE program is family. We do have a couple questions, if you don't mind me throwing a couple from our audience in here. We've had a couple people come in today and say that they're a showcase school, they're a trainer, they're an MIE, they're an MIE expert. Could you explain a little bit about the different words that we use in the MIE program?
Yeah, and actually, I think I can just pop back into some previous slides I have, and that will maybe be a better showcasing of the different programs. So we've got what I call our learning communities. These are our certified MIE programs, our MIE trainer programs, and then our MIE expert programs. The one that's currently open for application is our MIE expert program. This is the one that you have to apply to, and we pick folks for a cohort annually. The certified MIE program, the MIE trainer program are always open, always on programs. So the way we look at this is that we feel that every educator on the planet can become a certified MIE. We encourage everybody to do so. Anyone who wants to be part of that program can. It's basically you have an interest in learning some more things about Microsoft and education. You take some courses, you become part of that community. Our MIE trainers, those are usually folks on a campus or work at a district, or they work at a training company who have some sort of role where they're responsible for training other teachers, other staff members, other school leaders, et cetera. And so that's what our trainer program is. It is essentially a program where you take our Trainer Academy program. You can do that in an online capacity right now, which is what we're offering currently to the situation. And then you get access to all of the content. So as a trainer, we have worked with our training partners, such as the fabulous NCCE, to prepare content so that you don't have to spend days, nights, and weekends creating training content to train other teachers. You have access to all that training curriculum. You're welcome to tweak it, change it however you want, but it's a fundamental baseline of giving you some training materials. And then you can train other teachers. You report that into our training system, and then you earn your trainer badge. And so that's how the trainer program works. And then we've obviously talked pretty extensively about the expert program. Now, if we go and take a peek at our Showcase School program. So our Showcase School program is also open for nominations right now. It is, so how we reward and recognize educators is through the MIE program. We do this at the school level with our Showcase School program. So our Showcase School program is essentially similar to our expert program, except for school leaders and schools who are looking to go down the journey of education transformation. Everything that we do for our Showcase Schools is based on our education transformation framework, which is the research framework based on leadership and policy, modern teaching and learning, what intelligent environments look like, and a technology blueprint. So we take together lots of research that's been put together by people way smarter than me. And we work with our schools as they build out their plan to committing to an education transformation framework for their school. They are committed to a culture of learning and growth. They are connected to other school leaders around the world as well, who are part of this program and sharing what they're doing in their schools to drive impact. And so that's what our Showcase School program is about. Again, there are different benefits to Showcase Schools as well that we provide, and just like we do with our expert program. And if someone wanted to become a Showcase School, that process is also open right now as well. So the way someone becomes a Showcase School is they can go to this URL, aka.ms/SCS nomination, and then they submit a nomination as a school. So the school leader would come in, they would submit a nomination, it would come into our system. If you're an existing school, you can be part of the program, or if you are a school leader, about to open a new school in the next, 18 to 24 months, we also work with schools from a new construction level standpoint as well. They come into our system, and then we start working with those schools to devise a plan along the ETF framework and how they want to become a Showcase School. So they are provided with a year-long professional learning series, et cetera, on the different parts of education transformation. They build their own plans as a school, and then they would. So basically, everybody kind of is a year, if you would, through an incubation process where we work with you guys. We've got folks that are mentoring and sharing. And then at the end of the year, once you have gone through your transformation, you've got a fully developed plan, and that is actually taking place inside your school, then you would become a Showcase School. So it's definitely more of a lighthouse school program throughout the world. One of the things that's really cool about being a Showcase School in the US, I think, is there are schools all over the world, a lot of ministries of education, et cetera, from different countries come to the US, and they're looking to learn from our US school system. from schools and teachers and how we educate our community here in the United States. And so what they'll do is they'll come to us at Microsoft and say, hey, Microsoft, and they do this with Google, they do this with Apple. They're coming to these big tech companies and they say, we would love to go visit some schools who are using technology to teach and learn. Can you introduce us to some schools? And so a lot of times these folks, and these are government level ministries of education folks from around the world, they'll come into these schools and they'll tour your school, ask questions, meet with your school leaders. So it can be a very prestigious thing from a global perspective as well, to open your doors to other world leaders looking to you as an example and a spotlight of innovation.
Well, Robin, as we go through, there's one other common trait here, which is Microsoft innovative educators love working side by side with Microsoft engineers. Shout out again to Mike Tolfson and everybody on the EDU team. But from your desk, from somebody who works with Microsoft or in Microsoft, what is it like having access to the MIE program to get feedback, to be able to create tools, create programs? What is it like having access to so many amazing educators who are passionate about the work that they're doing in their classrooms?
It's our lifeline here at Microsoft and Education. Our engineering teams are looking to our school leaders and our educators to get constant feedback. They're saying, hey guys, what do you want next in our tools? Or what is it not doing for you? What pain points do you have in the classroom that you're working with? Or do you have students that need certain accommodations or access to tools that they don't have today? How can we build those and move and make those available for you? So literally it is, it's a lifeline of our engineering team, is to have the voice of the educators, the voice of the school leaders, the voice of the students shaping our technology and shaping the future, really. It's critical. And I say, I've never seen engineering move so fast as they have with the entire, pandemic that took place. Things that our engineering teams may have had on the roadmaps to improve in their tools, maybe in, 9 months to 12 months, 9 months to 1 year from now, they put together and made happen in a matter of weeks. So, your voices are critical. The community is the one who, is connected to our engineers, sharing what's working, what's not working, what they want to see to be different. And literally our products are being shaped by students, by educators, and by school leaders. So we just thank you guys for providing your voice to us and really changing the world.
I got 2 more minutes with you, but I wanted to ask this, and we've talked about this publicly, we've talked about this privacy. Talk about your leader. Talk about Satya Nadella. Why is the Microsoft education platform the pillar? Why is that so important to him? And why is the education arm of Microsoft so important to Microsoft Global?
Yeah, Microsoft, the mission with Microsoft years and years ago when the company was formed was to put a PC on everybody's desk. That was the mission. It's not our mission today. Our mission is literally to empower every person on the planet to achieve more. Every person, every organization. And we take that mission seriously. Satya, who is our current CEO, I know most people think Microsoft and they immediately think Bill Gates, but we've had several, people since then. Satya has been in our leadership CEO role here at Microsoft, I guess for probably 6.5 years or so. He started right in the role right before actually I came into the company. And he's really transformed our entire culture at Microsoft inside and out. And within his first year, he got on stage in front of every employee at Microsoft around the world and said, education is a priority for us. We've done things with education here and there in the past, and this was years and years ago, but I want to put it at the forefront. Education is so important to us as a company, but it's important to our entire world. It is what allows us to have a global economy. It is the great equalizer for every person on the planet. And so if we don't prioritize that, we're saying we don't prioritize our existence as human beings. So every person at Microsoft, whether they work in the education division here at Microsoft or not, is always reaching out saying, how can we help education? What can we do more? Hey, I've got my child's teacher is doing X, Y, Z. So everybody is in this for education. And just knowing that and feeling that as an employee in this company it's the only reason I even came to join Microsoft, honestly. I would have never left my K-12 education school district and come join taken a job at Microsoft if I didn't believe in the mission behind the company and what we're doing. And so that's why this community is so important to me, is because you guys shape what we're doing, and you're allowing us to take your voices and put those on a world stage and amplify them and create products for kids at the end of the day that, provide equal opportunities for education so that we can see all economies across this entire planet grow and be awesome because of education.
Well, Robin, Shannon, Melissa, I want to say thank you so much for your time today, sharing your passions. Melissa, welcome to the MIE program. I'm looking forward to working with you this year and seeing everything. Robin, you got a big job ahead of you, taking care of all those MIE applications. I don't want to let you go, but I know you got to get back to scoring those little charts. Robin, thank you guys, and thank you everybody for checking out here.
Thank you, Jeff, and happy
Thank you so much.
anniversary, Jeff. TEACHERCAST anniversary today. So glad to have be a part of that with you today.
You've been listening to the TEACHERCAST Educational Network, hosted by Jeff Bradbury. Please reach out to the show with all of your questions on Twitter @TEACHERCAST or online at www.teachercast.net. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And please take a moment to write a review in the App Store.